kind of a place is this where the employees can treat the customers so badly? I want the number of your corporate office now. You won't have a job when I am done with you.
r/Entitledparents. Our first story we'll be reading today.
Wait on me, now.
Entitled customer gets owned by the owner. From user Spectrum Mommy Amy Lee. After that,
tell them to stop, or I will get you fired.
From user I'm an Ugly Pony 78. And after that, how I ended up with a psycho or entitled psychologist. From user Draco Foxgal. And then we'll be finishing up with a revenge story. Make me do your work? Fine, if you insist. From user Positive Genji. Thank you so much to our authors for letting us read your stories. And if you're an author who would like to hear your stories read on the channel, please submit them to the r/Mr. Reddit subreddit. And welcome to the newest members of the Re-Army, George, JJ Mace, and Random PC. And if you're new, join the Re-Army by subscribing for new stories from Reddit every single day.
Wait on me, now.
Entitled customer gets owned by the owner. For our cast, we've got the entitled customer, the awesome manager, the owner, and me. This is a bit long, but well worth the read. I work on a farm in a farmer's market, and I'm usually there a lot, whether or not if I am working, because my son gets picked up and dropped off in my work's parking lot, so I am there all the time. I don't mind helping people out when I'm not even on the clock, but there are some customers that come in a demand to be rung up when the store isn't even open yet. We open at 8 a.m. and are waiting for the bus by around 7:45. One day, while waiting, an entitled customer approaches my car while we were waiting for the bus and asks if I can let her in the store because it's really cold out. Our workplace is very accommodating in situations like this, so I said, sure, it is really cold out, but the store and the registers are not open yet, but it will give you time to warm up and browse for a bit. She said thanks and entered the store right behind my son and I. I am waiting for the bus to pull up, and the entitled customer was making a fuss back in our deli area and complaining because they aren't open yet. Internally, I am thinking, good Lord, what have I started? In 2 minutes, the customer's attitude and demeanor has changed into some ugly behavior I have never witnessed before as she stomps her way up to the counter and drops a handful of items she was purchasing. Mind you, there is still no cashier yet, and the register is not even open yet. So, conversation ensues.
Excuse me? Are you going to check me out sometime today?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not working today. Someone will be right with you. At this time, it's only 7:55 a.m., and the cashier on duty wasn't there yet. I proceed to page Awesome Manager to come to the market. She comes down from upstairs and sees the customer and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't open for another 5 minutes. But if you give me a few minutes to open the register, I can help you." At this point, entitled customer was very agitated and was giving me the death glare. Right then, my son's bus pulled up, and I got him on the bus and on his way to school uneventfully. At this point, I had the option to just leave and not have to run into this customer again, but I did need some milk and felt bad I left my awesome manager to deal with this lady. I re-enter the store, and this woman is screeching at awesome manager about the prices of the products she was purchasing, and my poor manager cast a little shady glare my way and smiled. She rarely lets people like this get to her, but this woman was trying to push her buttons. I go to the dairy case and grab my milk and head to the checkout. As I was approaching, this woman says something I managed to miss hearing and spins around and points at me, accusingly, saying,
"Well, she let me in the store, and I should be waited on if I am here shopping. I don't care what time you people open, and she refused to wait on me at all."
I was kind of flabbergasted and said, "What? Ma'am, I told you when I let you in the store that we weren't open yet, and you said you were fine with that since you were freezing and wanted to get somewhere warm." Entitled customer rolls her eyes at me and says,
"It doesn't matter. You shouldn't let customers in the store if you can't wait on them."
"Ma'am, I told you I was not working today and I was just getting my son on the bus." Entitled customer turns to the awesome manager and says,
"Your employees are so rude, and they know nothing about customer service. I think I should get a discount or something just for the bad service.
At this point, I had to restrain myself from bursting out into laughter because she was really barking up the wrong tree, asking my awesome manager for a discount. My awesome manager tells her, "Sorry, ma'am, I can't give you a discount because you think you deserve it."
I want the number of your corporate office now. You won't have a job when I am done with you.
I had a burst of laughter that just slipped out, which my awesome manager shot me a stern look, but started giggling as well.
I don't see why you think that is so funny. You both are so rude.
Ma'am, you realize this is a local farmer's market and not a big corporate company, right? If you want to speak to the owner, he will be in after 10 a.m. today.
I want his phone number now.
No. I'm not giving out his private phone number so you can call and harass him the way you harassed our staff. He will be here after 10 today. At this point, the entitled customer turns to me, saying I caused her unneeded stress and she wasn't feeling good now. She leaves her groceries on the counter and just walks out in a huff. My awesome manager was not at all mad at me, and we actually had a good chuckle about that woman, and we told the owner what happened, and he even chuckled a bit about it and understood. The following day, I was scheduled to work the opening shift. I got my son on the bus and went inside the market to start opening it up, and lo and behold, guess who walks in? I just sighed and continued to do my opening side work. 10 minutes pass, and here comes entitled customer to check out. I say a pleasant hello, and I mentioned nothing about what happened the previous day and began to ring her up. She smugly is standing there, glaring at me as I am bagging up her groceries.
I think you owe me an apology.
For what?
For the horrible service I was given yesterday.
At this point, I am a bit peeved and was just trying to move on from the whole stupid debacle. I apologize that you feel that way, but I wasn't working yesterday.
I don't care if you were working or not, but you should know the customer is always right, and they should have trained you better.
I've worked here over 5 years with no complaints, ever. Well, that is your opinion, ma'am, and you are welcome to have your own opinion.
You don't have the right to talk to me like that. Who the heck do you think you are?
At this point, the owner walked into the market and immediately came over to defuse the situation. Is there a problem I can help you out with, ma'am?
Who are you?
I am the owner, ma'am.
This woman has been so rude to me the last 2 times I have been here, and I would like a discount for my groceries because she stressed me out so badly.
Owner, playing along. I'm sorry, ma'am. What did she do that was so rude? He knew exactly what was going on here because Awesome Manager told him beforehand. She goes on and on about how Awesome Manager and I were laughing at her yesterday and that we refused service to her. Oh, yes, that's right. I remember our other opening manager was telling me about this. He proceeds to relieve me of my register and starts putting her groceries back in the shopping basket.
What are you doing?
Ma'am, we appreciate your past patronage to our store, but you are no longer welcome in the market. I would like you to leave. Entitled customer loses all composure at this point.
What the heck kind of a place is this, where the employees can treat the customers so badly and get away with it?
We are the kind of place that supports our employees against unruly customers and people who think they are better than everyone else. Now, I would like you to leave before I call law enforcement. Entitled customer walks out and was never heard from again. She got butthurt just because we weren't discounting anything for her. Unfortunately, this is almost an everyday occurrence because of the variety of entitled people we have coming into the market. I should probably start posting some more of these stories on a weekly basis. Update. I think this woman is just a glutton for punishment. This just happened yesterday. The same entitled customer I found out is a member of our bird seed club we run at the farm for people who have feathered pets, chickens, or they like to feed the wild birds. This woman has not stepped foot into the market since the last encounter, but she still gets her seed orders from us. Oh joy. Well, recently I started working more in our warehouse area at the back of the farm. You can see where this is going. I was in the middle of packing an order up and in walks entitled customer. Now, for clarification, we typically do not let random customers just wander through the warehouse since it can get hazardous back there with the forklifts and such. The entitled customer walks in and announces,
I have an order I am picking up.
and she stopped and stuttered a bit when I spun around startled. Hi, ma'am, can I help you? Using my most sickeningly sweet customer service voice I can muster.
Well, I have a seed order I need to pick up.
Sure, let me check your invoice. She hands me the paper, and it's an order for 3 40-pound bags of seed. Let me go get that for you. She sort of did a sound that was a cross between grunting and a wild buffalo taking a turd. Under her breath, she mutters,
Let's see how long this takes now.
I ignore her and proceed to the back where the seed is stored. I was tempted to just sit back there for 10 minutes just to upset her, but no, I had a busy day ahead of me. I got her seed loaded on the hand truck and proceed to wheel them out to her car. At this point, she decided to wait outside the loading bay door with her trunk open. I quickly hauled the bags carefully into her trunk and went to close it. Of course, this isn't over yet. She stops me from closing the trunk and says,
That's not the right seed. Are you some kind of imbecile?
I was a bit taken back, but not surprised. Ma'am, that is the seed that you were rung up for.
No, it isn't, she shrieks at me. It's a totally different product that I buy.
I was confused. This is what was on the invoice. I show her the barcode matching and all. Wasn't good enough.
Well, it seems you don't know what you are doing, no matter what department you work in, huh?
Excuse me? Really ticked at this point and done with this woman. Ma'am, if this is not what you want, fine. I proceeded to unload her car and place bags back on the hand truck, taking the advice of the owner from the last encounter with her. I wheeled the bags back in the warehouse and she decides to follow me in. Ma'am, only contractors and employees are allowed back here.
Well, since you can't seem to do your job, I have to do it for you.
She proceeds to speed walk past me into our storage area, and I have had enough. I called down to the store and asked for manager assistance to the warehouse. The owner, who dealt with her before, shows up in 2 minutes and asks, What's up? I pointed out the entitled customer trying to scale the piles of bags of seeds and trying to find the brand she buys. Owner looks over, rolls his eyes, and bellows, Lady, what the heck are you doing? Get down from there before you break something. He was upset. Entitled customer was startled.
Ow! I am just trying to find my order since your employee has no clue what she is doing, and she is very rude.
Looking at the owner, he shrugs as to say, Go for it. My shining moment. Ma'am, I called the owner down here, so he has the full scope of what is happening here.
I don't care.
Cut her off. Ma'am, here is your invoice, and my owner will be more than happy to refund the money for your order, since we do not have the product you say you ordered.
I bet you're just too lazy to look for it.
Looking at my owner again for reassurance, he gives me that evil grin that I relish when he is about to burst someone's bubble. Ma'am, as I said, you can get your refund at the register. Trying my best not to instigate the situation further. She turns to the owner at this point and says,
Are you going to let your employees speak to customers like that?
When my employees have to deal with people like you, I fully expect them to act just like that. You are a very rude and horrible-natured person, and as I recall, I have already banned you from the market area, so I guess I need to extend that ban to the rest of the farm and forbid you to ever set foot in my land again. I won't be as pleasant next time, and law enforcement will be involved. The fish-face gape on this customer was epic, and she looked like someone just shot her dog or something. It took every fiber of my being to not totally lose it laughing my butt off as he escorted her out of the warehouse and off farm grounds. Next we've got,
Tell them to stop, or I will get you fired.
Hey Mr. Reddit, this is something my friend online had happen, and she wanted me to put it on here because you're her favorite YouTuber, and mine too. Oh, thank you, Pony. So for our cast, we've got the entitled mom, we've got the scared little girl, and we've got me, along with the front lady. I used to volunteer at a fun place for kids and parents in my city, and it was fun. Not saying what it was, for personal reasons. For the most part, all I did was clean up the place, stock a few items upstairs, and make sure people and kids are having fun. It was wintertime, and we had a room that was especially made for Christmas. It had a large sleigh inside, and wooden reindeer, and a weird fireplace, etc. One fun thing was a couple tubs full of white pom-poms to look like snowballs. Each time I walked past the room, I heard kids scream and laugh as they try to hit their parents with the snowballs. Heck, I even joined them occasionally. So one day, I was busy working around one room till I saw a lady and a little girl around 7 walking up the stairs. Well, the mom looked like she was stomping up the stairs, dragging her poor kid. She didn't look like a Karen to me after reading some Reddit stories of how they are described, but she looked overweight and had very, very short hair. Remember the movie Freaky Friday, when Lindsay Lohan was in her mom's body and had a complete transformation? Yeah, that's her hairstyle. She looked pretty angry, possibly regretting that she brought her kid to a place she'll never want to leave. We suddenly made eye contact, and I got nervous. I never dealt with angry parents there, so I didn't know what to do. Her eyes seemed to glow red, and I thought I heard her thoughts saying, "There's my prey." She stomped over to me, which probably shook the whole floor, or even building for that matter, till she stopped right in front of me. Note that I'm a volunteer and wore a name tag that said so. Here's where she starts, and trust me, my eyes and nose burned like fire once I felt and sniffed her bad breath.
Do you work here?
I was a little confused. Yes?
Those little brats are scaring my little angel.
She said this while tugging scared kid out from hiding behind her. Poor thing looked more terrified of her own mother than the kids she was complaining about. I don't... Entitled mom rolls her eyes.
Don't just stand there. I paid to have a good time with my child, and I'm not going to have these ingrates ruin my special day.
What kids? Entitled mom points at the stairs she came from that led to the bottom floor.
Those kids that are in the room with the balls.
Oh, I can't tell them to stop because they're having fun with the snowballs, and I wouldn't have been able to because I'm a...
Don't give me that! You work here. You have a name tag,
she states while poking her fat sausage fingers at my chest, which kinda hurt from how hard she jabbed. I was getting more nervous. Ma'am, I can't because I'm a volunteer. I thought I saw steam coming out of her ears the second I said that. I backed away a couple steps, fearing that she might strike at any moment.
I don't give a darn what you are. You better tell them to stop screaming, or I will get you fired.
Scared kid tugs on her hand. Mommy, stop. I want to play in the grocery store. I couldn't help but feel sorry for scared kid. I did find it cute that she got the grocery word wrong, but entitled mom didn't care about her, only to yell at a trembling girl. Ma'am, I really can't do anything. I'm not an employee.
How dare you talk back to me? Where is your manager? I'm getting you fired now.
She grabbed my wrist, and while holding her daughter with her other hand, she started to drag me up to the front desk while I was too scared to try and stop her. Looking back, I should have done something, but I've dealt with so many bullies in my life, I didn't know how to stand up for myself then. Mommy, stop. I want to play in the grocery store. Entitled mom, talking sweetly to her kid, which I didn't even think she could do.
Not now, sweetums. Mommy needs to take care of this.
We got up to the desk where front lady was busy typing away on the computer till she stopped and looked up after she heard her coming. Her smile quickly faded once she saw a scared girl, an angry woman, and a soon-to-be tearful teen in the clutches of the demon. Can I help you? Entitled mom pushes me to the desk, finally letting go of my wrist.
This girl won't do her job, and I want her fired.
Front lady looks over to me. OP, are you okay? What happened? Luckily, she was an amazing friend to me, so she knew about my anxiety and how easy I break down from time to time. I told her about what had happened and how entitled mom was ordering me to go down and stop some kids from having fun All the while, entitled mom was shouting that I was lying and still wants me fired. Front lady could see that I was close to having a mental breakdown and told me to go upstairs. I did what she said to, but I heard entitled mom screaming in the background.
You're letting her leave? She won't do her job, and you need to fire that ungrateful jerk.
Ma'am, please don't use that kind of language in the building. And I can't fire her, nor will we after the way you forced her to come with you.
How dare you! I paid to have fun, and now you all ruined my sweet angel's day. I hope you're happy about it. I want that jerk fired.
I didn't hear any more since I was able to make it up the steps and to another room before I broke down. A lady that runs the volunteering job was in the room across from where I was and came to see if I was okay. I told her what happened and front lady was handling it. She gave me a glass of water and a cupcake since one of the employees had a birthday and she brought a whole tray of them for him. I didn't hear what happened since I left early. She thought it would be better for me that I go out the back door instead of going through the lobby. I went back a couple days later and asked front lady about it. She said entitled mom wouldn't stop screaming till front lady threatened her by calling the police. Entitled mom didn't like that, so she pulled scared kid with her to the door, but not before flipping front lady off. They banned her from the place and had a picture of her in the staff room to let anyone know she's not allowed back. Funny enough, scared kid did come back later and was with her nicer father, who apologized to me after scared kid pointed me out to him and told him what happened. Turns out that entitled mom was divorcing him and wanted custody over scared kid, so she wanted to bribe scared kid by going to the fun place, only for the father to hear what had happened from scared kid, including how she verbally abuses her from time to time. Her dad got full custody, and she played in the grocery store room. Sorry for the long read, but I hope this would be okay. If it gets on YouTube, then I'll let my friend know. She'll be over the moon about it. Well, you can tell her that she rocks, and Re-Army fully supports her in the battle against the entitled parents. Let's drop some Re's in the comments to show support for her, my friends. Next we've got how I ended up with a psycho or entitled psychologist. Buckle up, because here comes another story from my Tales from Stockholm. Apologies in advance for formatting. Some much needed background on the situation. While I was living in Sweden for some time, I was labeled the troublemaker of the class because I was the loudest and I was blowing up every single day due to the students in my class. One day, around December I think, I was assigned to be monitored by the school counselor. Now, what do you think of when you think of a school counselor or psychologist? A person that you can get help from and vent about your problems? Nope, not in this case. Umbridge, as I like to describe her, was a psychologist for a military boot camp. All she did was scold me out and gave me nothing but everlasting fear of her. Umbridge at first seemed like a lovely woman. However, after having her for a few weeks, past an earmuff incident, her true colors revealed themselves. There were several incidents, but the one I remember the clearest took place right after winter when it was hot enough to go outside without a coat. Meet the cast. We've got me, the Hitalian who accidentally leaves yarn explosions in her wake. We've got the crazy counselor, Professor Umbridge's real-life counterpart. We'll call her Umbridge for the sake of simplicity. And we've got the group of kids. The actual story. It was around late winter, early spring when I first started to get bad vibes from Umbridge. She had scolded me whenever I got mad at the other kids when they bullied me and wouldn't reprimand the other children for their actions. At that point, I had only thought of her as strict. However, one day I got into an argument with a group of kids. They went over time limit on the swing. Yes, I know, it was a stupid thing, but I was in 4th grade and we can all understand how important swings were back in the day. Hey, I've counted to 60 and it's time for you to get off. The group of kids were like,
No, count again. You're counting too fast.
I raised my voice. I wasn't. I was keeping track of my time on my watch.
Check again. We're not getting off.
I'm practically shouting now.
It's my turn. Your turn is over.
My shouting happened to catch the attention of Umbridge, who was outside on recess duty. She comes over, and the following ensues.
What happened? It's still our turn on the swing, and this kid is telling us to get off.
They point at me.
That's not true. I was timing them, and a minute has already passed. It's my turn.
Group of kids, you can stay on the swing. Eliza, you're coming with me at once. I don't care what happened.
No! It's my turn. They lied.
Come here.
Trigger warning up ahead if you want to skip. Umbridge lunged at me and grabbed my wrist so hard it left bruises. I was screaming, crying, pleading with her to let me go, but she didn't. Despite her looking frail, she had an iron grip. I managed to escape and ran to the wall, but she grabbed me again even harder. I dug my heels into the fake grass, but she swept me off my feet and dragged me behind her and up a set of concrete stairs. She threw me into my classroom and locked the door, leaving me locked inside my 4th grade classroom until my jerk teacher came back from recess and found me in there like a caged animal. When my mom came to pick me up, I fell into her arms and sobbed and explained everything while showing her the marks that Umbridge had left behind. Needless to say, my parents were irate. They went to my jerk principal and demanded an explanation. As usual, he tried to dance around them for about a month, even suggesting my parents to pump me full of drugs to calm me down, until my parents threatened to sue the school. We never did, but we had jerk principal give Umbridge explicit orders not to get anywhere close to me. Fast forward to 6th grade, and I'm just going about my usual business in the hallway when I hear a sharp,
"Hey, you!"
from behind me. I freeze instantly, recognizing the voice and glance behind me. At the end of the hallway was Umbridge, waving a bony finger at me. Without thinking, I book it and run while she chased after me. I rushed into the nearest bathroom and locked the door. My coping mechanism at the time was to isolate myself, and I still do it if I get overly frustrated. Not like this, though. I hear several knocks at the door and her shouting, and I was honestly praying that she wasn't going to break the door down. She threatens to get jerk principal involved and leaves. Taking my chances, as soon as I was certain she left, I rushed back to class before anything happened and never saw her again. Today, while I was writing this, I actually got curious and decided to look her up with the name of the school. No joke, I found her LinkedIn profile and she's still at the school. I also found jerk teacher and jerk principal's profiles as well, including the vice principal's. There was a weird exchange in 5th grade where the vice principal and principal switched. I won't say anything for privacy reasons, but I'm still surprised that Umbridge is still at that school. This story was the wake-up call and showed the school wanted one thing and nothing else: money. It was a business after all, and was barely making the cut. Extra small story about how bad this school was. About once every few months, we had a fancy day where we would all be on our best behaviors and the teachers would act fine and dandy as the school inspectors walked around and interviewed students from each class. However, this school only offered students that would leave glowing reviews. I figured this out after I left, as they had only selected the best behaved ones to get questions. I did try to pull one aside to tell them what was actually going on, but the teachers would always swat me away and they'd continue their tour. Still to this day, just thinking about Umbridge in that school sends shivers down my spine. Thank you for reading, truly, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night. If anyone has questions, I'll be happy to answer most. And our final story of the day. Make me do your work? Fine, if you insist. Hello, Mr. Reddit. I've been watching your videos for a while now, and I love them. Oh, thanks, Genji. English is my first language, and I'm on desktop, but I am exactly 95 pounds of dumb, so I might make a few mistakes. Please point them out to me, and I'll fix them. Now, on to the story. This story takes place in middle school, 8th grade, social studies. At this point in my life, I didn't have many friends. I was shy and not very expressive of my feelings, leading them to bottle up and explode at random times for no apparent reason, and I had the worst emotional quarrel a moody teen can have, a very difficult crisis. It was nearing the end of the trimester for school, and we had a pretty big project for social studies. We had to make a 10-minute video about an assigned country and present it to the class. This would all be fun if I didn't leave out one 5-letter word. It was a pretty big group project, and we had to fill out peer review sheets for everyone in our group. Me, being shy and not having very many friends, tried my hardest to get the teacher to let me work alone, to no luck. I got put into a group of 5, counting me. There was 3 nice girls, me, and the worst person to ever be stuck in with for a group project, or jerk. For our project, we got India. Great. A country with a lot of interesting facts, a neat culture, and some good landmarks. Maybe this wouldn't be that bad. Our first task was dividing the workload. I gave myself a good chunk of the workload as I didn't know these people and didn't trust them. In hindsight, I see this wasn't necessary because almost everyone did their fair share. I had to do 2 30-second trivia slides, a recent news headline, and video editing. Nice Girl 1 got the culture bit, Nice Girl 2 got the landmarks bit, Nice Girl 3 got script editing and cinematography, and Jerk got a 1-minute weather slide. Day 1, project due in 4 days. Everyone got a good start on things. Most people had written their scripts, and Nice Girl 3 approved them. Everyone was at least ready to film, except Jerk, who hadn't written anything.
It's fine. We have 3 more days after today. We have plenty of time.
I kind of understood where he was coming from. We shrugged it off, as he sat for the entire day watching Fortnite streams on his phone. Typical. It's not that Fortnite is bad or anything, it's just a stereotype at this point, and Jerk fit the mold perfectly. Day 2. Project due in 3 days. Today was another day of filming. We had asked Jerk if he had written his script, to which he said no. We asked him to work on it in class, to which he made the big brain excuse of,
I have other work to do. I'll get to it.
we leave him be while he watched Fortnite and did nothing for the rest of class. By now, we had only a few more scenes to shoot. We were looking okay. Day 3, project due in 2 days. Another day where Jerk didn't make a script. At this point, we started getting concerned. He said the same old excuses, and we got passive-aggressively mad at him. He's a jock, so Lord knows none of us had the guts to be genuinely aggressively mad at him. We shot the final scenes, and I got an idea. After shooting the scenes, we had one left. Weather. I wrote a script in less than 10 minutes and ran it by Nice Girl 3. She approved it. The following is a dialogue between me and Jerk. Hey, Jerk, I wrote the script for the weather scene. Jerk, not moving a muscle or looking up from Ninja's Fortnite game.
'Kay.
Can you please film?
Bell's gonna ring soon. We don't have time.
The bell rings in 10 minutes.
'Kay.
So we have plenty of time. Can we please film your scene?
I'm busy.
He refused to run his scene. I then got an idea. Do you want me to run your scene?
Yes.
Great. We filmed that scene and we were good to go. We used my iPad to film since I was editing and needed the clips. I got all of the scenes edited and we were good to go, except for the credits slide. At that point, I made a generic "thanks for watching" slide and was done with that copy of the video. I saved it to my iPad. Meanwhile, I had to work on the final copy. I made an actual credit slide on that one. I listed all the tasks everyone did, including what Jerk did. As far as I'm concerned, Jerk did 3 things. Sit on his butt and do nothing, watch Fortnite instead of working, and dragged our group down. I put those things under his name. We were all set. Day 4, final workday. I come to school with my iPad, the fake copy of the movie, and the biggest lust for academic destruction ever. I show the fake copy to the group, and they loved it. Even Jerk was happy with it. Jerk then went to use the restroom. While he was gone, I told my group about my plan. I told them all to give Jerk a poor review on the review sheets, and they all complied, just as eager to screw him over as me. Now for the big day. For the hard workers in the group, it was presentation day. For Jerk, it was doomsday. Presentation day. I submit the real copy of the video to the teacher and ask if we could go first. He agrees and shows ours first. It was going smoothly, right up until the end. Our real credits roll, and Jerk's face turns red hot with rage.
What the heck, man?
He didn't say heck, but I don't want Mr. Reddit to get in trouble. I played dumb. What is it?
Why'd you put that stuff under my name? I worked just as hard as you did.
Nice Girl 1 says, OP gave himself most of the workload, and you did nothing. Nice Girl 2 added, You couldn't even film your own scene, even after we wrote it for you. Nice Girl 3 says, Not only that, but you had plenty of time to do your work. That girl had Mike. I guarantee you she would have dropped it. Jerk doesn't say anything. The teacher says, while trying not to laugh,
Okay. Just fill out your review sheets. And be quiet, please. The next project's about to go.
I filled out the review sheet, giving my hardworking group members good grades, and Jerk got squad. Nice girls did the same and gave me good scores too. We all ended up getting an A on the project, except Jerk, who got an F. Oh, victory, how thou art sweet. I'm really proud of this, not just because justice rained on him like a freaking hurricane, but because this served as the first step to me becoming more outgoing with myself, my interests, and becoming a friendlier person in general. School, from that point on, was a lot better, and high school is amazing. I have friends, I'm outgoing, and even got a male lead in the school musical, Pippin. So, in a weird way, I'd like to thank Jerk for being himself. Otherwise, I may not have evolved to the kind of person I am today. Moral of the story: do your own work, and there won't be a problem.
Give Mr. Reddit a thumbs up on this video,
Or I'm going to get you fired even if you don't have a job.
And congrats to our re-generals of the day, Black Bunny, Frederick Stenbro, King of Games, and Micah Tatum. That's all for now, but don't be blue. I'll be back soon with more stories for you. Remember to listen to Mr. Reddit every night, so your dreams will be wonderful like you are and bright.